Hi everyone and welcome to our English lesson for today. So we have been learning all about formal and informal letters, haven't we? And we're coming to the end of our know stage now, so we're heading into our deepening stage where we need to think about just furthering our understanding and our knowledge of informal and formal letters so that we know whether we really understand what the differences are. So let me share my screen with you and we can have a look at what our learning is going to be for today. So our learning objective is to deepen my understanding of the format of formal and informal letters. So we already know the features of formal letters and informal letters. And now we need to deepen that knowledge so that it's really secure and we really understand it. So to be successful today, we need to be able to recognise if a letter should be formal or informal. We need to identify the incorrect features. And lastly, we need to reformat a letter with the correct features. So we need to fix anything that's not quite right. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to recap our learning from yesterday. So what might be handy is if you could get a scrap piece of paper and a pencil or pen, or if you've got a whiteboard at home, then you could use that as well. So could you pause the video now if you need to get any of those things? Okay, first of all, what I would like you to do is list for me the features of a formal letter. What can you remember about a formal letter? What needs to be included in it? Pause the video and jot down anything you can remember. Off you go. Well done. Right. On the same piece of paper, I would like you to jot down now the features of an informal letter. So what makes up an informal letter? What needs to be included? Jot it down on your scrap piece of paper or whiteboard. Pause the video, off you go. Fantastic. Right, shall we see how many you got? And remember, if you didn't get all of them, that's absolutely fine. We're recapping our knowledge. So this is to help jog your memory so you can be as successful as possible in our learning for today. So look, here's my list that I made. On my formal side, we've got that it has 2 addresses on a formal letter. Your address, so the sender's address, and their address, so the receiver's address. So 2 addresses on a formal letter. It also has the date, starts with dear sir and madam, or uses the full name, so first and surname. Has an introduction where it states the purpose of the letter, so why they're writing the letter. Then there's the main body of the letter. Got the conclusion. And then it signs off with yours sincerely or yours faithfully. Now let's look at the informal side. So that just has one address. It has the sender's address, so whoever's written the letter. Starts off with dear, hello, or hi. Does have a date. Has an introduction. Has a main body. But it signs off with love or from. So that's a bit of a reminder of what we have learnt so far about formal and informal letters. So you're going to need this for today's lesson. So make sure you've got your bubble maps from previous learning, or perhaps you might just want to use a copy of this, which you can find on our class page if you need it. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to have a look at a letter that is a bit jumbled up. Whoever has written it has clearly not had enough sleep because they haven't been concentrating when they've been writing their letter. And it's our job as letter detectives to work out, first of all, whether it should be a formal or informal letter. And then secondly, can we help this person and put the letter back together? So let's have a look who our letter is from. All right, so we have got here an address. Let's read it together. You can read it along with me if you'd like to. So our address is 4 Flower Cottage, the Big Forest, Fairy Tale Land, 0NC3UP0N. And it starts, Dear Mum. Wonder if you're going to work out who this is from. I am writing to tell you all about my day. I was out for a walk and got a bit lost. I came across a lovely little cottage in the middle of the forest. I was tired and hungry and decided to go inside. When I went inside, I found 3 bowls of porridge. The smell made my tummy rumble. I decided to help myself. Porridge is my favourite breakfast cereal. What do you like to eat for breakfast? After this, I felt like taking a nap, so I went upstairs to find a bed. The first bed was too hard. The second bed was too soft, but the third bed was just right. But I still couldn't get to sleep because I didn't have my teddy with me. I just can't sleep without my teddy. He is called Rupert. Do you have a special toy you can't sleep without? When the owners of the house came home, they were very friendly and helped me get back home. What do you think of my strange day? Yours sincerely, Goldilocks. Kiss, kiss, kiss. So, who is that written from? Can you call out to me? Yeah, it's written from Goldilocks, and she's telling her mum all about the time she ended up in the 3 Bears cottage. So, first of all, I'd like you to have a think. If Goldilocks is writing to her mum, should she be writing a formal or an informal letter? Pause the video and have a think. What type should she be writing? What did you say? I hope you all said informal, because Goldilocks knows her mum, doesn't she? I should hope. So she's writing a letter to someone that she knows and she likes. So she'll be writing an informal letter. So if that's the case, then we need to check that she has got all of her features correct, because I think where she's had a sleep here in the beds and she didn't have her teddy, she's tired and she hasn't written this letter correctly. So let's start with looking at the address. If it's an informal letter, how many addresses should there be? Call out to me. There should be 1, and it should be the sender's address, shouldn't it? Let's have a look then. Has she got that? She has 4 Flower Cottage, the Big Forest, Fairy Tale Land. But what do we notice about this address? What do we notice? Pause the video. Do you think it's correct or do you think it's incorrect? I wonder what you said. I think it's incorrect because it should be on this side, shouldn't it? It should be on the opposite side to where she's written Dear Mum. So it should be over here. So I'm just going to jot that down to remind myself that the address is in the wrong side. So I've written the address on my whiteboard to remind myself. Right, next thing an informal letter should have is a date. Is there a date on this letter? No, there isn't, is there? So, silly old Goldilocks, she could have written this 10 years ago. We don't know. So I'm going to just jot down on my whiteboard, date. Need to add in a date. Right, an informal letter should start with what? How would they address the person they are writing to? Call out to me. Yes, dear or hi or hello. So she's got that bit, hasn't she? Super. Then we know that there's an introduction in the main body, and that's in both letters. So we don't need to look for that too much because that's informal and informal. Let's look at how she's signed off then. She's written yours sincerely. Is that correct for an informal letter? What do you think? No, it's not, is it? What should it say then? What should it say? Yeah, she should be using love or from, shouldn't she? So I'm going to jot down on my whiteboard, love and from needs to be added in. So let's have a check. Did we get them all? Oh, we did. So look, the address is on the wrong side. There's no date and the letter is signed yours sincerely when it shouldn't be. So what we need to do now is reorganize this letter and make sure we add in those things that are wrong. So I have, to save time, I have retyped this letter up so it now looks correct. Shall we have a look? Oh, that's better, isn't it? So we've got the address on the right side now. I've added in the date and I have changed at the bottom so it says love, not yours sincerely. So let's have a look at what your task is for today. On the class page, there is a letter, and I would like you to do exactly what we have just done. So I would like you to look at the letter, work out whether it is formal or informal first. So who's written it? Should it be formal? Should it be informal? Once you know that, then do what we did. Check for the features and write down any that are wrong. And then once you've worked out which ones are wrong, can you then rewrite out the letter, but do it so that it's got all of the features in the right place? So I did mine on the computer because that was easiest for me. It's up to you if you would like to use the computer and edit my letter that's on there, or you can write it out in your lovely handwriting, making sure that all the features are in the right place. I don't mind which one you want to do. So pause the video now and go and complete that task, please. Off you go. Well done. I hope you managed to do that okay. So last thing I would like us to do, as always, is for us to do our reflection. So to do your reflection, I would like you to think about, first of all, what we always think about. So 1, what have you learnt today? Obviously, we're deepening our understanding and our knowledge, aren't we? So what have you learnt today? Secondly, how has what you've learnt today, how is that going to help you to write your letter to your new friend in Australia? And lastly, how has what you've learnt today, how is that going to maybe help you in your wider life? So something outside of your English learning. So as always, you can complete your reflection by writing it down. You can say it verbally to your adult or to your friends or teddies around you, or you might have a really kind adult who has got some spare time who could write your reflection for you. Fantastic. Well, I hope you enjoyed our English lesson for today, and Miss Robinson is going to be doing your lesson tomorrow, so I won't see you for that, but I hope you're looking forward to seeing Miss Robinson again.